That'll deal with the attacker. That explains more than readily why he only wanted that one creature in the red zone.
And is that Order of the Golden Cricket?
It is Order of the Golden Cricket. I love that name. I love that game. I always want to chirp when I play it.
You see, I'm just delighted as an Englishman to see the word cricket on a Magic card, but that's a different kind of thing.
Yeah, it's an insect where I'm from, and it's something else where you're from.
Yeah, cricket. It's baseball for intelligent people.
No.
So, I'm going to get butchered for that in the forums. I so am. Never mind, eh?
Mill 2 more cards. Ming thinking through his upkeep. Does he have something he wants to do at the end of his turn? End of his opponent's turn, rather.
Well, if you're Shi, you're probably quite relieved that you're 2-1 up at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you look like you're behind here pretty comprehensively, despite that next snap to get rid of the Plover Knights.
Yep.
They're looking pretty lonely, just those two monsters, against an army of 5. Okay, so he untaps. Draws a card. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Puts a card right into his hand immediately. Oh, shuffles through him again. Oh, got something.
It's Paper Thin Rascal, so that's going to get a little clash action going.
He kind of wants to win this clash, so he's got a 3/3 to block those creatures and trade for him.
Absolutely.
And that'll give him another Merfolk to help mill, but looks like Califo gave him pause. Counts his deck. If he has Tarfire in his hand, as he has a couple, he could put that Clash trigger on the stack, Tarfire the Paper Fin Rascal, and kill it before the Clash resolves, giving the +1/+1 counter.
Neat.
Of course, the Clash would still then resolve. They get to see a card and perhaps move one to the bottom. But it's an interesting play to think of. The question after that Tarfire then would be whether or not Ming would remember to mill before it hit the graveyard. But
I do believe on top of that is another Drowner of Secrets.
Yep, and I think he wishes it was a 4-drop because it looks like his opponent's got Battle Wand Oath, so Ming's going to lose the Clash, or I should say fail to win.
Yeah, fail to win, absolutely. Yeah. We don't like draws in American sport, do we? So the basic deal is if you don't win, you've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's going to put it on the bottom.
Yeah, so he accelerating the clock by that much not essential.
No, because right now he's got to make sure he's alive long enough for it to be relevant. You know, three cards a turn is sufficient now because with his opponent's draw step it's actually 4. And remember, when you start the game, you've only got 10 turns under a 4 card per turn clock like that. And so at this point in time, his opponent's drawn 7 cards for his hand. He's drawn cards repetitively, and Ming's been milling him. So really, it's a pretty significant clock right now that's out there.
Califel again offers the top of his deck in upkeep. One nice thing about, again, the kinship ability is that it teaches newer players about the importance of your upkeep and your draw step, because it's so often a kind of, you get initially taught, well, you just go back to square one with all your stuff, you untap your lands and you draw a card. But upkeep is where a lot of the subtle effects in Magic take place.
Yep, there's an interesting play that just happened here. The Battle Wand Treefolk, or Battle Wand Oak, was left on top, and Ming opted to mill it, and then his opponent decided to resolve kinship afterwards, putting the +1/+1 counter on his creature by revealing an elf. So interesting play, series of plays there.
3 cards for Califel.
Looks like for sure there'd be a 2/2 flyer coming in this turn for Falafel, but it remains to be seen whether the rest of those creatures are coming in on the ground. And the problem with bringing all of them in, instead of just alpha striking with his opponent at 7 life, is that Changeling hero is going to be gaining 4 life for Ming while decimating his opponent's board, trading for the most relevant creature. So it's not something he can take lightly. He's got to consider carefully how much he's going to get in for.
Okay, well, Califel's put his hand down, but I can tell you that he has a Tarfire in there. So the Tarfire is there, and one other spell. Let's have a look, see what he's got there. He keeps putting it down, the bad man.
Yes, looks like he's got a Tarfire, a Forest, and Lisalana Bowmaster, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and that's a good effort from like 32% of the card. I'm impressed with that. Well done.
Yep. He kind of gave away that Tarfire tell on the
Sure.
Paper Fin Rascal, but
absolutely.
he is going to go all in on this attack, and it's going to put Ming in a tight spot. He's going to have to figure out the correct blocks. Of course, that's going to be altered by the Tarfire, but it's important to note on the ruling interaction with the Changeling Hero that life gain is only going to happen after combat has resolved, and before it does, state-based effects will be checked. Of course, if Ming's life total is not above the 1 life you talked about previously,
Boom.
he will lose the game before he can gain the 4 from his Changeling Hero.
Absolutely.
So it could be a position here where we see him forced to trade his Drowner of Secrets in order to survive the turn after he's already put his second copy on the bottom of the deck, and that's just really insurmountable edge that he could be forced to try to overcome.
Yeah, we're starting to look as if we are heading for 2 games apiece. This game looks like it is going to go to the full 5. And you just look again at the depth of stories available in Magic when you play. We've only got 4 matches going here, never mind the 100 or so, 200 that we kicked off with at the start of the weekend. But you've got a 3-0 sweep in maybe half an hour, Mario Pascali over Mike Rohn. You've got another 3-0 sweep, Finkel against Wafatapa, which could have been much faster had Finkel's deck behaved. And then you've got Herzog Carvalho, green-black, going at it, real heavy hitters, sluggers back and forth. And here, a subtle milling Merfolk deck against a mix of things, not particularly tightly focused, but Calafell won't care looking at those 5 monsters sitting in the red zone. They're focused on attacking and putting your life total in the bin.
Yep, and seeing these matches go long is a little bit different than we saw at Pro Tour LA in 2005 when Irvin Tormos in his first top 8 intentionally played a little bit, let's say, cautiously so that there would be enough time for the cameras to pan on his game and he could mug for the shot a little bit.
A little bit of deliberate, was it, Mr. Tormos? Now, an interesting story about him. I heard rumors that he was in the country. Apparently someone had seen him on a flight. I don't know, maybe gone into flight attendance or something. But Irvin did not appear in the actual event. Irvin Thomas, one of those great characters on the tour. You talk about people with their game faces, and you know they're very serious. Irvin is a real joker, pretty much at the table as well.
Yep. He's such a joker that it rubs off on his friends, because the story that I heard was that he had school or prior commitments, and that the rumors that he was present on the plane but did not arrive in the country were related to a prank that I believe Zach Hill and Steve Saban were trying to pull on Jacob Van Lunen. So Irvin's quite a character, and so are most of his friends.
That is certainly true. Now, Jacob Van Lunen, that is another guy who doesn't do serious for more than 3 seconds if he can help it.
No, and back in the game here, Rich, we've got a pretty significant series of plays. The all-in attack is going to be stifled by a series of blocks, and the bounce spell that his opponent managed to play in order to remove the largest attacker. Now, the Spaniard is going to be able to get 4 damage in. Of course, that's going to be undone by the fact that the Changeling Hero will gain him 4 life and kill that Elvish Warrior, I believe it's blocking. It's interesting to consider the options that Falafel has on the Tarfire.
Absolutely.
Of course, Calafel could kill the Drowner of Secrets. He could also kill the Mirror Entity, and his board's just been severely decimated here.
Sure, there's a...
Looks like he's for sure going to get milled for 2 as well, provided whichever creature he kills remembers to turn sideways. Imagine we're going to see the Winnower Patrol post-combat, possibly the Bowmaster. But, yep, that's the looks like the patrol.
Now, as far as Calafel's deck is going, from above, of course, we can't see the stack.
Sure.
But Scott tells us it's probably in the low teens, round about that kind of level, so still in double figures.
Ooh, that's
there is the
interesting.
Tarfire.
That's going to allow him. That's going to allow his opponent to mill an extra card with that Amiibo Changeling
there we
coming
are.
into play, and.
Fistful of Force goes by for Calafel there.
Yep, you don't want to second guess. You don't want to second guess players, because like I've been saying, you know, they're very good. They're here for a reason. But you got to wonder about whether or not it might have been better to take care of that Drowner of Secrets and allow himself to stay ahead on the board, particularly with that live draw available to him.
A Johnny Goldmane.
That was huge.
Wow.
After his board got decimated like it did the previous turn, he's now behind on the board, and that Ajani will help keep his opponent ahead on the life as they try to find enough tokens to possibly fit on the card.
So we've got 4 there right away, and you would imagine that he's going to head towards 6.
My creature or get...
No, instead he says, okay, +1.